Breakfast is Tech Talk, Tech Talk, Tech Talk, Tech Talk, Tech Talk, Tech Talk, Tech Talk with Matthew Dickinson.
Matthew Dickinson, good morning.
Good morning, Richard.
Hack. To hack. Cut with rough or heavy blows. Hack off the branches and let them fall to the ground. That is what the definition of it is. The Old English root word is hassian, which means to cut into pieces, but hack also means to cough frequently. A tickle in your throat can make you hack. If you call someone a hack, you mean they're not great at what they do, especially writing. Mediocre writer is called a hack. Once upon a time, hack was short for an ordinary horse. And now it's an insult to writers. No one wants to be a hack. But more importantly, Matthew Dickinson, no one wants to be hacked.
No one wants to be hacked, but there are people who do want to be hackers. And I'm interested in that, Richard, in all the definitions you've looked up there. Nowhere in amongst all of that, obviously, it talked about computer hacking.
No, it didn't.
And that's probably the most common way we use it. All those terms that you've just mentioned there, the definitions of those, you hear that sort of thing about someone being a hack or even the horse being a hack. But yeah, most people now, they use the term for computer hacking.
What is hack in
Well,
computer terms?
well, I don't have a good definition like you've got there for computer hacking, but the reality is that hacking is basically gaining access to information that you shouldn't be gaining access to. So that's really, if you like, a very simple
Is that like
definition.
going into my letterbox and opening a letter?
Yeah, which is
Is it as easy as that?
well, it's not as easy as that, but that's, I suppose that's what hacking is. It's really taking some information of yours, and then someone who shouldn't be seeing it, you don't give permission for them to see it, is looking at it.
How do they do it?
Yeah, that's the really tricky part. I don't want to give lessons on air, Richard, for hackers out there, because we might be accused of encouraging people to do it. But essentially what they're trying to do is they're trying to gain access to either your computer or where your information is stored. So the same as your money might not be stored under your mattress, it might be stored in the bank, but it's still your money.
Money's under my mattress.
Whoops, sorry, giving it away now. But when someone goes and breaks into the bank and steals your money, that's your money they're stealing. And so the same as your information, lots of your information now is stored in servers that aren't in your house. So they might try and gain access to your house and try and gain access electronically to your house and your information, but they might also try and gain access to other servers elsewhere that have got your information.
Okay. Now, when I go to my computer and you go to yours, we have a little keyboard, we have a screen, and we have a tower or the machine.
Computer, yep.
The computer thing. What is that in relation to where the server, the master server is? Because it's not just in your little server on your desk, is it?
Well, it depends what information you're talking about. You might have, for example, some photos stored on that little server in your desk. Right? So that little computer and the hard drive on that, and that might be the only place it's stored. So if someone wanted to look at a photo that you took of you when you were 15 years old, and they say, wow, what funny hair Richard had at 15.
Redhead, yeah.
Redhead, right. So they look at that, and they to get that photo, they need to get into your computer.
How do they get into that computer?
So before you were connected to the internet, then they would have had to break into your house because there were no external connections. Now, of course, your computer is connected to the internet. Now, every computer that's connected to the internet across the world gets given what's called an IP, an Internet Protocol address. And then it's just a matter of people, and they don't say, I know what Richard Perno's IP address is, I'll go and attack it. They just have little bots that randomly go and try various IP addresses
until they hit the bingo.
Until they get one where they say we think we can get in here and then have a look.
Yeah.
So that's
they don't know what they're looking for.
Sometimes they're just looking for the ability to get in, and then once they're in, they'll see what they can do there. Or typically they're trying to steal your password. That's the ultimate aim for them. If they can get your passwords, then they can typically get to your bank account.
And do they once again let the toggles toggle around and round until the password comes up?
Correct, that's exactly right.
So they press one button, say you've got a 7-word password, 7-letter password, or 7-character password. They press the first one and it spins and it stops on a letter or a character.
Not so much like that. What it will do is it will start from one letter. So typically you'll see passwords say, make sure you've got a minimum of 6, minimum of 8. For a computer to check 1-letter password, you can imagine how quickly it can check 26 letters of the alphabet, upper and lowercase, that's 52, all the numerical characters, then the other special characters. It does all that.
Like a combination lock.
Like a combination lock. But the beauty of it is, the longer you make that password, it gets harder and it takes much longer exponentially.
Right. Now they want to be in and out pretty quick.
They want to be in and out. That's right.
So
and they've got a
complicated password. They go, I'll stuff this one. I go to Dicko's.
Move to the next door. Yeah. Yep, that's exactly right. So that's one part of it. The other part, the reason that's attractive for them to try and attack some people that have got information stored in the cloud, is that if they get into your computer, they might find a funny photo of you, and that's about it. They might get your password, they may not. It's a lot of work to go to for you as one user, hold on, if we get over onto this server over here that's got information for thousands, millions, hundreds of millions of users, if we can get into there, now we're going well.
Well, now we had in 2019 the personal information of 533 million Facebook users, including 7.3 million Australians.
Yeah. So
that's a big number.
That's effectively a quarter of all Aussies, and that was Facebook that was hacked. And the information they got was 2019 information, but it doesn't matter. Most people don't change their date of birth from 2019.
When sometimes you can't change it.
Well, that's right. Your date of birth was your date of birth.
Yeah.
So you've got your name, your date of birth, your mobile phone number. Most people have those same details from 2019. And once you've got that information, and this was a really big deal, this particular breach of data from Facebook, name, date of birth, your Facebook ID, who cares? You can go and hack your Facebook and put funny pictures up there, but that's not the real thing. What they really like to do is steal your identity. And once they steal your identity, they can be you for whatever organisation they want to be you for. In particular, they like to be you for the banks. So they can either steal your money or they can take out loans in your name. And then, of course, they're gone. They've got the money. They do whatever they want with that money. And then the bank says, Mr. Perno, you need to do that next loan repayment. You've missed that loan repayment. What loan repayment? Or you borrowed $500,000 last week. Well, no, I didn't. Yeah, this your name, this your date of birth. Well, this is definitely you. So that's the really scary one.
But banks are pretty good these days, aren't they? If they see an anomaly in your account, all of a sudden you've got $2 in the account for every week, you're putting $2 in, and all of a sudden you get $500,000. They go, well, hang on, what's happening here?
The banks are very good. Their AI is very good at picking up various things, and I've seen examples of that, lots of different ways where they'll pick up things and say, hey, this doesn't look right. Are you okay with that? Are you sure this is right? But again, some of these people that get the information are very good at making it look like normal course of business.
And there's no electronic, like paper trail back to the source of how this all starts?
And what they try and do is they try and find the IP address that they were on when they did this. But again, they're very good at sometimes...
They change it.
Well, no, they'll sometimes use someone else's. So what they might do is they might get into your computer. They don't want what's on your computer. I don't care about
They're
that.
using you as a vehicle.
Correct. And then they move from... The hack appears to come from your vehicle. Next thing you know, you get people knocking down the front door saying, Richard, you've just stolen all this information. Oh, I'm just sitting here having a nice day. Thanks very much. But your computer might have been used for that. So that's sometimes where they'll use an individual computer of someone else's somewhere else in the world.
All right. Now, we hear this all the time, especially with this over 500 million from Facebook. It's not going to stop, is it?
No.
So what's my protection? What's our protection?
Yeah, look, I suppose being aware, make sure that you are taking steps with your passwords, looking out for strange things, even just on your credit card statements, just seeing anything that pops up there that you go, hold on, I don't remember that. It might have been a $20 purchase. The bank wouldn't think much of a $20 purchase, but hold on, I didn't make that $20 purchase. So they might try a smaller amount before they try a large amount, for example. So just being conscious of these things, looking out for things that look a bit different, but passwords is probably the main message I would give to people.
But hacking's not going to go away, is it?
Hacking's not going to go away.
Because it's a business.
It's a big business. There are people who sit there, they come to work in the morning, they hang their coat up as they walk in the front door. G'day, Jimmy. G'day, Charlie.
Coffee.
They sit down, hey, how are you going today? Yeah, I've really got close to this one here. I reckon I'm just about getting this one. So, yeah.
Hacking.
Breakfast
Far
is
cry from a bad writer or a horse who didn't happy.
It is.
Tech Talk with Matthew Dixon.